What if I told you that your brain isn't fixed, that it's not a static, unchangeable organ doomed to repeat the same patterns over and over? What if I told you that you have the power to rewire your brain for greater peace, more focus, and long-lasting success, regardless of where you're starting from? It may sound like a bold claim, but this is not philosophy or self-help. Fluff, this is science. At the core of this truth lies the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, adapt, and reorganize itself by forming new neural pathways based on your thoughts, behaviors, and habits. Neuroplasticity is the foundation of mental transformation, and it proves that no matter what you've experienced or how long you've felt stuck, you can actually reshape your brain and, in turn, reshape your life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every habit you practice reinforces certain neural pathways while weakening others. Imagine these pathways like trails in a forest. The more you walk the same trail, the clearer and easier it becomes to follow. Similarly, the more you think certain thoughts, whether positive or negative, the more deeply embedded they become. But here's the amazing part. Just as you created those paths through repetition, you can also create new ones. Your brain is constantly responding to the inputs you give it your focus. Your beliefs, your actions, and those inputs can either hold you back or propel you forward. The way you think is not permanent, it's programmable. And once you take conscious control of that programming, you unlock the ability to direct your life with far more clarity and purpose than ever before. You are not a prisoner of your past thoughts, habits, or emotional patterns. You are the architect of your mind, and the tools you need to begin building a better brain are already within your reach. So how do you start? First, understand that thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are real electrical signals firing in the brain, forming networks that determine how you feel and behave. When you repeatedly think in a certain way, such as worrying, criticizing yourself, or expecting failure, your brain becomes wired to make those thoughts automatic. But just as you built that negative wiring, you can interrupt and rebuild it. The first key is awareness. You must become conscious of what you're feeding your brain. Are you feeding it fear, anger, shame, and doubt, or are you feeding it gratitude, hope, peace, and confidence? Your focus creates your future, because neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you refocus your attention from a negative thought to a positive one, from doubt to belief, you're interrupting the old neural pathway and beginning to form a new one. At first, this feels awkward, like learning to write with your non-dominant hand, but over time, it becomes second nature. This is the power of repetition and intentional redirection. Think of your brain like a garden. The seeds you water will grow. If you constantly water thoughts of fear, failure, and frustration, don't be surprised when those emotions dominate your life. But if you consistently nurture seeds of self-belief, peace, and possibility, your mental landscape will begin to flourish. Science shows that practicing gratitude, for example, literally changes the structure of your brain by strengthening areas related to emotional regulation and empathy, while reducing activity in the amygdala brain hemisphere center. Similarly, mindfulness and meditation increase gray matter in regions associated with focus, memory, and this means that simply by taking time to breathe deeply, observe your thoughts, and return to the present moment, you're sculpting a stronger, calmer, more focused mind. But rewiring your brain isn't just about positive thinking. It's about consistent, deliberate practice of new mental habits that reflect the person you want to become. Success, peace, and focus don't happen by accident. They are the byproducts of internal rewiring. Every time you challenge a limiting belief, every time you stop yourself from reacting impulsively, every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are reshaping your brain. Over time, these choices compound, and what once felt impossible starts to feel natural. That's the magic of neuroplasticity. It rewards your effort with transformation. Another powerful rewiring technique is visualization. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and even stroke patients use this mental rehearsal to activate neural circuits associated with movement, confidence, and success. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, you're priming your brain to recognize opportunities and take action in alignment with that vision. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So, visualization becomes a tool for embedding new patterns and breaking old ones. Combine this with affirmations, confident statements about who you are becoming in. You create a feedback loop where your thoughts fuel your reality. Saying things like, I am focused and calm, I am capable of achieving my goals, or I am at peace with myself, may feel strange at first, especially if you've believed the opposite for years. But when repeated with emotion and conviction, these affirmations send signals to your brain that reshape your self-concept and identity. The key is not to lie to yourself, but to align your words with your intention and future self. Every time you affirm a truth that serves you, you silence a lie that held you back. And that shift in self-talk is a shift in wiring. And the more frequently you make those internal shifts, the more your external world begins to mirror them. Your relationships improve because you're less reactive. Your productivity increases because you're more focused. Your sense of inner calm grows because your brain is no longer hijacked by stress and fear. Rewiring your brain for success, peace, and focus is not an overnight process. A daily commitment. Think of it as going to the mental gym. You wouldn't expect to gain muscle after one workout, and the same applies to your mind. The process requires patience, persistence, and trust. One of the most overlooked but critical components of this transformation is your environment, the people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, the habits you cultivate, and the energy you expose yourself to. If you constantly immerse yourself in negativity, whether through toxic relationships, pessimistic media, or internal self-criticism, you're reinforcing the very neural pathways you're trying to break. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, consuming content that educates and inspires, and creating routines that support your growth all work together to rewire your brain faster and more effectively. Your environment either reinforces the old version of you or accelerates the emergence of the new one. Set yourself up to succeed by designing a space that aligns with your new mindset. That could mean decluttering your home to reduce mental noise, creating a digital environment filled with motivational messages, or simply spending more time in nature, which has been shown to reduce cortisol levels and enhance cognitive function. Another powerful strategy is habit stacking, attaching a new brain rewiring habit to an existing one. For example, you can practice affirmations while brushing your teeth, visualize your goals while showering, or express gratitude during your morning coffee. These small, consistent actions compound over time to create massive change. Neuroscience supports this. Consistent repetition over days, weeks, and months strengthens synaptic connections, making new behaviors automatic. This is how the brain moves from effortful change to effortless identity. One day, you'll wake up and realize that the thoughts that once dominated you are now distant echoes, and the peace, focus, and confidence you craved are simply who you are. Even your identity, who you believe yourself to be, is malleable. If you've always identified as anxious, lazy, or unfocused, that identity is not a life sentence. It's a program, and programs can be the more you act in alignment with your desired identity, the more your brain believes it. And as your beliefs change, your behaviors follow. This loop of belief-behavior feedback creates momentum, pulling you into a future where your mind is no longer your enemy, but your greatest asset. When your brain becomes your ally, everything shifts. You begin to approach challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to grow. You stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth and start seeing it as feedback. You no longer get stuck in spirals of overthinking because you've trained your brain to focus on solutions rather than problems. Even your body benefits in a calm, focused brain reduces stress hormones, strengthens your immune system, and improves sleep. And perhaps most importantly, you reconnect with your sense of purpose. A rewired brain, ISNTG, more efficient TSS, more aligned with who you truly are, beneath the noise, the fear, and the self-doubt. You become more intuitive, more compassionate, and more grounded. Success no longer feels like a distant fantasy. It becomes the natural result of your consistent alignment. Peace is no longer something you chase. It radiates from within. Focus no longer requires effort. It becomes your default state. This transformation doesn't come from luck or talent, it comes from choosing, again and again, to show up for yourself, to observe your thoughts without judgment, to let go of old patterns without shame, to believe, even when it's hard, that you are capable of change. And as you practice these things, awareness, intention, repetition, and belief, you literally sculpt a new brain. One that's wired, not for survival, but for one that helps you stay present in the moment, instead of haunted by the past or anxious about the future. One that empowers you to dream bigger, think clearer, love deeper, and live freer. Your brain is your most powerful tool, and you get to decide how to use it. So don't wait for some perfect day to start. Begin today. Begin now, with a single thought, a single affirmation, a single breath. Because every small step you take toward rewiring your mind is a step away from the person you were and toward the person you were becoming. And in that journey lies the truth you've been seeking all along. You are not broken, you are becoming. You are not limited, you are limitless. You are not stuck, you are evolving. This is not just motivational talk, it's neuroscience. This is the path to rewiring your brain. And the best part, you're already on it.